beautiful. Well, hello, my wonderful, beautiful broskies of the Dark Shadow Maverick Nation. I am the Dark Shadow Maverick, and I believe it is now finally time for part 5 of What If Lancer Was Friends with Vanilla Sands. And just because Vanilla Sands isn't really around much in the story, doesn't mean that the story has to end. Because, there are still things that, it was like a domino effect. Like, things that Vanilla did that, spiraled into, more and more things. So, he still technically left a mark that's going to continue to make changes. And how Lancer, being influenced, like Vanilla influencing Lancer, is going to make some changes to things. He already has, actually. And Des being dead is going to make some changes to things. Technically, that already has. So, technically, the story can still go on. And, well, part 5 of this story, this little adventure that I cooked up, starts with, well, the day in which basically Vanilla Frisk and Vanilla Chara, like, they made the tether, their little tether, they made it long enough so that they could sleep in different rooms. And it's just like, Vanilla Chara's phone is like, ring, 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 like ring a ding ding, mofo. And Chara's just like, Vanilla Chara's just like, oh, what the fuck? It's like, uh, it's a message from Rouse. Uh, the Project DT. It's going to start today. Well, uh, I am better get uh, myself straightened out. Yeah, Chara, is like finally gonna get to figure out what this Project DT is. And, well, Chris and Susie are, well, they say they want to, do this, this, like, they say that they're, this is probably going to be the last thing that they're going to get to do, because Chris's mom is probably going to be worried sick if they, are in there for too much longer. Yeah, so basically they've been watching the clock. And so, you know, just, the entire thing, like, Chris, Susie, and Vanilla Chara, Vanilla Frisk is even there. And the Lancer is even there to see the unveiling of this Project DT. But, well, the unveiling of the project itself, Rouse is pretty much in front of this giant ass curtain, and basically it's like, curtain please, like, curtain call please, and it just lifts up the curtain, and what's seen, it like lifts up the curtain, and there's a curtain behind that curtain, and it parts that curtain because it was like a two-piece. And basically what's seen is, well, something that kind of freaks Vanilla Frisk and Vanilla Chara out, because, even though they've never done a pacifist run, now that they are doing one currently right now, they can kind of pull a Sans and look into, like, like pull a Sans slash Flowey and look into like different pacifist timelines. True pacifist timelines, because only like in two and only in true pacifist can you get to the true lab where the DT extractor is supposed to be. And basically, like Vanilla Frisk and Vanilla Chana are looking in, and they're just like, they know what this is. This is gonna be like the Darker World equivalent of like the DT extractor that's in the monster world. They're just like, and if they remember correctly, wasn't the DT experiment the entire reason why Gaster was shattered across reality? And Ross is just like, ta-da! Behold my invention! The Determination Extractor, or DT Extractor for short. And, like, Lance is just like, well, you seem to have outdone yourself, or I'll say. I do indeed see that the many machinations of this project of yours, they look very complex and very, very, I'm not exactly sure what else I could say, except for just very. And it's just like, you know, like, Chris and Susie are just there, and it's like, well, there's not much more time. And then Ralph say, like, takes the two containers that, were actually hidden behind the DT extractor, and it's like, but that's not all. These two souls are the souls of the Sanses that caused so much disruption within the Darker world. The sibling souls of Vanilla Sans, the one who was for so long teaching our beloved king. And, Lancer can't exactly argue with that. Like, Vanilla was trying to teach him to, you know, grow a freaking pear. But whenever Lancer's like, he's like, wait, they're souls? Goldust, Crystal, those are their souls in there? Those containers? The two containers. And Ralph says, like, yes, the one on my right is Crystal's container, and the one on my left is Goldust's container. Now, please, the beloved king, please calm down. I have this all under control. And basically, they just like release the two souls and like put them in the DT extractor. That's what Rossley does. And then Rossley is just like, and there should be a sort of tube connected to a syringe. As I know it, soul syringe. And Lancer's like, he's kind of seeing where this is going and kind of not seeing where this is going, and he's like, soul syringe? Wait, what? Soul syringe? It's just like like Rouse just like takes like the tube out, and like there's like the pointy end, and even like Susie's kind of like, I think we should stop her before she hurts herself. And Chris is like, I have confidence in Ralse that she knows what she's doing. And Susie's like, yeah, misplaced confidence. I'm going over there. And, she accidentally knocks herself into Ralse, stabbing it into, like, Ralse's soul. And Susie's like, oh, shit, shit, shit. Uh, uh, Susie. And Ralse's like, no, it's okay. It's what I wanted, anyways. The power from those two souls, they'll combine, and whatever determination can be extracted from the combined soul, well, I will receive gradually over time. So I must be hooked up to the machine. You've merely helped me accomplish my goal. Or at least, somewhat helped me. Basically, anyways, thank you, Susie. And Chris is just like, wait, you were wanting to extract determination from their combined soul? Rouse, it is like Chris is like, Rouse, I don't think you know what you're doing. And like the determination extractor actually opens up and like a beam shoots out. And Rouse is like, uh, oh. It's like, shit. It does indeed seem that there's been a fallacy within the inner workings of my experiment. It does indeed seem that the mystery man was indeed feeling alone. And I don't blame him. Loneliness can lead to insanity, and the longer one can hold on to their sanity, could actually help them a good deal. And Susie's like, so you're just gonna give yourself away to help this mystery guy who barely any of your actual friends actually know? And Susie's like, don't be ridiculous. Susie, everyone should know him by now. He is the mystery man, W.D. Gaster. And then, like, right after saying that, like, Ralph passes out. Basically, like, Ralph is taken to, like, the ER, like, basically, like, the Darkner ER. And whenever Ralph wakes up, it's like, uh, I'm awake, but everything is nothing. I can't, I can't tell them about how far I'm already in. I'm blind, but I can't let them know that. I can't let them know that got this close. Incomplete. Incomplete. Procedure is incomplete. I failed. And then Ross, would just hear a voice. Nonsense. As long as we can join together, you are not incomplete. You are merely just another. Come, we must find him, the one who wishes to rebuild his world by using other worlds. Foolish monster. Using aid from a human. We must go now. I'll say, my nearest and dearest. Nearest and dearest subject experiment. This is just another step into insanity and atrophy. Now, let us be gone. And like Ross is like, what? What's happening to me? And then like it's just like everyone hears a scream, and like they go into like the ER, and it's just like Ross is like on the floor and is just like shaking, and everyone's there, and it's just like is is Chara here? Is Chara here? And Vanilla Chara would just be like, yeah, why? Ross, please try to stay together. And Ross would just be like, Chara, I am wanting you, new scientist. And basically, Chara would be like, what? Hell no! And it would just be like, that's not acceptable. Darker, darker, yet darker. And then just all of a sudden, like, and Vanilla Fish would just be like, this is what happened before, isn't it? What's happened before a lot of times for a lot of different universes. I'll say, met the same fate as Gaster. Soon they'll be scattered across the multiverse as well, in many different pieces. And Vanilla Char is just like, he's just like, damn it. Damn it. But eventually, Vanilla Char does end up taking up the position. But there does indeed seem to be a problem. Because whenever Chris and Susie go to the fountain to, like, go back to their Lightner world, they realize that instead of a fountain, they find the combined soul that Rouse was, like, infusing herself with. And the combined soul is now whole again. And they're like, how the hell did that happen? And why is it here? And how come it's not shattering? Well, the other two souls didn't shatter whenever they were apart, but this is just seems crazy. And Susie is like agreeing with Chris, like, this is insane. We have to like report this to somebody, and also report the fact that the fountain is missing. And then just all of a sudden, like a big flash of light, and then just like the entire room just seems to be enveloped in like pitch black darkness. And then the darkness subsides to where the soul was, and then they see something. They're not quite sure what it is. And Frisk goes to touch it, and Susie is like, what the hell were you? And then all of a sudden, that something wakes up. Uh, the fuck? Who the hell are you? Who the hell am I? Uh, and then the something that woke up sees a piece of paper and it has like something written on it. Whereas written on it is dark web. And on the other side of the paper is sans. And so, seeing as it read it in that order, basically it's like, that must be my name. Dark web sans. I, I think I know now. I'm a mix of very bad things. Of very, very, very bad things. I can tell that it will be a very long while, before I can find a home here. And whatever that home may be, it probably won't even be all that good. Not like I deserve it. I can see the last moments flashing in my highlights straight before them. I'm terrible. I am dark web sans, a fusion of gold dust and crystal. Their souls is what I am a fusion of. I am dark web sans. And then he just teleport, he just outies. But like even after he outies, like there's like an echo in Chris's ear, and then like they feel something in and then they just yank it out and it's a piece of paper. And it's basically a note from Dark Web Sans. Or at least they call themselves Dark Web Sans. That's what they're calling themselves. And not only is Chris wondering why they had paper in their ear and they didn't notice it before. Wait, no. Something about it feels like it just now happened. And it's like, they better read. Like, there's probably something of value in whatever message Dark Web Sans left Chris in the freaking ear. And basically, the message just says the reason why the fountain isn't there isn't just because of the whole, like, soul fusion thing. It's more or less because, well, whenever Dark Web Sans was created, he kind of didn't really have the ability to, like, reasoning. Like, it's kind of like Ukiura from Bleach. He's like, he doesn't really understand. He has a hard time understanding anything. It's just he's lost to everything. He has no way. He has no like direction. He's just basically a lost soul. A lost soul that has no concept of like what's going too far, like when is going too far. So, you know, like what may seem like heartless overkill to someone, he may just seem as, well, I mean, he has no concept of it, so he can't tell that it to some people it might be like considered heartless overkill. So like if like you wake up in the middle of the night and you go into your like parents' bedroom, like I'm assuming some people like that watch my content still live with their parents, maybe. I don't know. Or like maybe your girlfriend or your boyfriend and you see him like freaking murdering them. He has no concept of like consequences or like the fact that murder is bad. He doesn't he doesn't have concept. He lacks concept is basically what I'm trying to say. Yeah, like he lacks concept and he lacks reasoning with anyone or anything. He's basically just a shell. A shell of nothing. Like, not even a shell of something, a shell of nothing. So, he just does things without having any reason to, but, it's just, he's just doing it. He doesn't know why he's doing it, but to him, he's doing something, and he doesn't know why, but, you know, he doesn't really know anything whenever it comes to the concept of doing things, and if that thing or things that he's doing are bad or good. He doesn't have concept, like a sense of morality, like whether something is bad or good. He doesn't know if it's bad or good, and he lacks the ability to understand. Like, not only does he not know, but he lacks the ability to understand. So even if you try to explain it to him, it won't matter. It would be just be like talking to a brick wall that, just does things for no in particular reason than just to do them. It's basically like that whole thing, like Sans was like, you just do it just because you can. Like whenever he's talking with Charles, like, you're only doing it, like at this point, kid, you're only doing it because you can do it. Because you know you can. Or you want to see if you can. He's basically, yeah, it's basically the case with him. Only it's not like a demonic case. It's a case literally like since he has no concept of anything, and like you know, even if like you did try to explain it to him, like it's literally like Ukiura. Like Ukiura didn't really have a concept of emotion. Like he didn't understand emotion. And it's basically like that with Dark Web Sands. He doesn't have a concept of like not really just a concept. Not only does he not like he lacks a concept of emotion. Like not only does he lack a concept of emotion, but he's he lacks a concept of morality. Not only does he lack a concept of emotions, but he lacks a concept of morality. So, even if you did give him some understanding of emotions, even if you drilled it into his head enough that he did have some concept of emotion, he still doesn't have a concept of morality. And so, morals are out the window. Because there was never any window for them to be in to begin with. Because he lacks a concept of emotion and a concept of morality. So, he could be doing anything, and there would be no reason for him to do it, but he would do it anyways. And he wouldn't even know, but he wouldn't, care. He wouldn't, he wouldn't, it would just, he would just be doing it to do it. Not even that. It would be even less than doing it just to do it. Even less than that. It's just, he's just there doing things. And even less than of a reason of just to do it because he can. There is no anything for him to do it, or any of the things that he does, but He just is there doing it. Yeah, so basically, he is literally the concept of null and void whenever it comes to like a human. Like, as humans, at least most of us, I'd like to believe at least most of us have a concrete enough like concept of morality and emotion. So like if we see like someone else who's hurt, or if we accidentally end up doing something bad, like if something like that happens or we see something like that happening, we're going to have a reaction to it. We're not just going to be there and it's going to be like we are going to react in some way. It's literally like he doesn't react in the way even like sociopaths or like psychopaths. Like the only way I could really describe the way black like like not black dark web stands. The only way I can really describe him would basically like say he was like an Underfell and you know like Underfell Papyrus the Papyrus was just like really pissed off and he was like really pissed off at Sans and so he like hit him because Underfell is edgy and shit and so they just do that because they you know it's basically Undertale but edgy. So basically because Underfell Papyrus was pissed off he would hit his brother because that's just how Underfell is. Like Underfell, like the entire AU. And if Black, if I mean not Black, why do I keep on? Damn it! If Dark Web Sans saw that happen, it would literally just be like he would just be staring at it and there would be no opinion and like no opinion on Papyrus, like Underfell Papyrus, for what he just did to his brother, and no opinion on like the emotions that Underfell like Sans probably felt after being punched by his own brother. No concept of the emotions that are probably going on, no concept of like the morality of the situation, like just like it's just like dead inside. Absolutely devoid of anything. A husk. Literally even more of a husk than Fresh Sans and like any of the Fresh characters. Because at least they have like parasites inside of them, which explains the whole husk, like devoid of actual, it at least explains that, but with Dark Web Sans, he's just devoid of get he's just devoid. That's the only way that he can be described as devoid. And I don't even know where I was. Like, oh yeah, that's right. Like, got like a message. Like, Chris got a message from, basically got a message from Dark Web Sans saying that, well, you know, whenever like the whole thing with, well, the reason why the he's basically trying to explain the reason why the whole like thing, like the way they get back into the Lightner world, the fountain thing or waterfall fountain, whatever the frick it is. The reason why it's gone and the reason why he's there is let's just say uh uh error basically whenever like the experiment failed, the double soul, the double soul, basically somehow got transported into the anti-void. Error saw the double soul, and he got pissed. And well, but whenever Error like went to like sense like what he was dealing with, because he was like, okay, this I know is an anomaly, but it's different. Like, and he like went to sense sense the anomaly, like what exactly it was. Whenever he went to sense for it, he couldn't sense a thing. It's not like it was trying to hide its like energy or something. It was literally like there was nothing there. Like like I said before, devoid of anything. Like even more of a husk than like the Underfresh universe's characters. And whenever Error saw this, he was like, whatever universe is responsible for this thing being created needs to die. And whenever he realized that Roth's say a Darkner was basically the reason why this happened, because she fused the two souls, like the soul of Gold Dust and the soul of Crystal together. She fused those two souls together, and Error, he's kind of on the side of the Darkness, so, you know, if I'm not wanting to destroy the Darkness, I'll just destroy the reverse of the Darkness. So yeah, he destroyed the Lightner world. Everything in it, basically. Like, unless, like, Sans was, like, the Sans from the Lightner world was able to evacuate everyone because he was able to sense error. So that he evacuated as many that he could, like, as many Lightners that he could, including himself. At least he tried to. Actually, I'm thinking that maybe Sans, after so much shit that he's been put through, he'd be like, Pap, like, he would finally explain, like, the whole thing about, like, if he didn't actually care, like, what would happen. He would just finally go up and explain it to Papyrus, and then he'd just be like, you're more important to me than myself. And so he would just, like, Papyrus would be like, take my hand, and then Sans would, like, mention that, and then it would just be like, so yeah, Sans' ultimate sacrifice would be having himself being killed off, like, as long with, like, along with the Lightner world, Sans would basically have himself be killed off along with the Lightner world. Because Air would be so pissed, but since, he's kind of friends with the Darkners, like, he's friends-ish, and he doesn't really want to mess with that, he would kill the opposite of, like, Dark World. And the opposite of darkness is light, so, yes, he did figure out that there was a Lightner world, like Darkner, Lightner, and so he went to kill that off. But that leaves, like, basically, that leaves Chris and Susie stuck in the Darkner world. Because Error, like, erased the entire freaking Lightner world. Because, he got pissed. And whenever he did that, the waterfall or fountain or whatever the hell that is, that, teleports them to and from, it got destroyed too because, there was no longer something to teleport it from. There was just nothing there. It was like nothingness. So if there's nothing there, like, what's the use in there being something there? So it was just dispelled because there was nothing, left there. It auto dispelled itself, like automatically, like self dispelled itself from existence. And, so the only thing left was the duo soul. Because, well, apparently the duo soul was, like, so strong because of how ridiculously OP Vanilla is. His siblings are going to be, ridiculously strong too. And so, eventually, whenever the duo soul woke up completely, basically, you know, whenever it woke up, it eventually formed itself into dark web sands. Basically, the 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 note thing that dark web sands leaves Chris basically teleported into their ear explains all of that. So the Lightning World is gone, but everyone except for the Lightning World version of Sans is alive and inside the Darkning World. So everyone except for Sans, because Sans, it's like that heart tug moment in like Dragon Ball GT whenever Piccolo died. But hey, he decided to be the whole like the man with the plan, dealing with the scum of hell. So that's Piccolo's moment. And so basically, yeah, now all of the Lightners except for Sans, because he got erased too, all of them are in, all of the Lightners are basically now in the Darker World. And so Lancer's like, well, not only do we have to have we have to assign a new world scientist, but now we have to expand. It's like there's so much of the Darkner world, but there are some areas that aren't really occupied, aren't really modernized at all. It's just distant nothing. So there is still room left to expand, upon like a land expansion, I guess you could say, an expanding of land, so that there would be room for Lightners. But technically, they would be Darkners now because they would be citizens, a part of the Darkner world. So it would be changed from Lightners to Darkners. So yeah, everyone except for Sans basically survived that. But the former Lightners, now Darkners, would want to know about, this duo soul apparently now turned into some weird ass person, that calls themselves Dark Web Sans. They would want to know where this mofo is. Because if they're the reason why Error decided to freaking just nuke the hell out of the Lightner world where they used to live, yeah, they want to know where this guy is and they want to have him put in prison for ever, forever, literally forever. People like the former Lightners, now Darkners, they want him in prison forever. They want this dude found and freaking literally no chance for freaking parole or anything. They want him to serve a bajillion life sentences for screwing them over this bad. Well, not all of them do, but most of the, you know, former Lightner population feel that way. But not all of them do. Some of them are more merciful than others. But I just said, some of them are. And so, yeah. Chris is just talking with old friends like Noelle and what were her other friends? Or was that one Timmy in that class who had a hard boiled egg for a partner? I guess that would count as a friend, maybe. But mainly Noelle, because Noelle is just got thrown into this, okay, well, Noelle is a friend of Chris. Chris, kind of likes Noelle, and well, Rousey actually doesn't. Actually, not Rousey because of the whole thing. Like Susie informs like Chris the whole thing about if the entire Lightning world was destroyed, that means that Azrael, the one that Chris has informed Susie about before, would have to, come here too. And so Chris finally meets up with Azrael, from university. And Azrael is like, yeah, hot cocoa's on me. It's like I'll even buy the hot cocoa for you, Chris. Like just having like this revelation of like the ultimate destruction of the lightning world and like everything and not being able to go back and shit. And, like this would hit hard, but it wouldn't all be like sad endings. Because like I just said, now Azrael is with them. And that would kind of make it a little bit easier for Toriel to accept Asgore and them be a family again. Chris, like Azrael, Toriel, and Asgore, and Susie. With the whole family being together again, like Susie, plus like they live. Basically, what I'm trying to say is Susie would get to, you know, have a lot more friend time with Chris. Like, it wouldn't just be school that, brought them together. Like, so Susie wouldn't have to just feel so ostracized all the time. Plus, Asriel likes Susie. Like, she's perfectly fine with Susie. And Susie actually likes that someone besides Lancer and Chris like her. And, Ralph is, dead, so can't really vouch for Ralph. So, okay, not really dead, but more or less stuck in the void with Gaster. Anyways, that would be a happy thing, but another thing would be a happy thing would be like, well, basically, let's just say one day, like, Chara is the new royal scientist now, and both Susie and, Chris, whenever it eventually comes time, they decide that, they want to help a friend out because they've known like Vanilla Frisk and Vanilla Chara long enough to consider them friends, like really good friends, and so they want to help a friend out. So they become like they take a bunch of tests and they eventually become like assistants to the royal scientist. Yes, they become assistants to the royal scientist. Vanilla Chara's assistants. And you guys might also be wondering, like, what was Frisk's job? Like, what were they doing? Like, and what are they doing now? Like, well, before, like, Vanilla Frisk, mm, how do I put this? Well, more or less, seeing as Vanilla Chara was the royal scientist, you know, Vanilla Frisk thought that it would be nice if they were the caretaker of card castles, like the card castle garden, if they were the caretaker. Because you know how Toriel is like the caretaker of the ruins? Whenever you first meet them, they say that, like I'm the caretaker of the ruins. So basically, like, card castle garden and, like, a good, like, amount of card castle, they're basically, you know, they, just basically, they're just, that was their job. Caretaker of freaking card castle. Like, a good portion of it. They were, the caretaker of a good portion of Card Castle and Card Castle Garden. So yeah, and because of that, like Vanilla Frisk got to know Lancer very well. And there were even some times where Vanilla Frisk would ask Susie for some pointers on like how to conversate with the king. Because, like you've known him before he became the king, so how do I talk? And Susie's like, well, you like him, don't you? And Susie would just be like, secretly, she would just be like, oh my god, the caretaker of Card Castle and Card Castle, like, the freaking Card Castle Garden. It's like, freaking, like, head over heels for a freaking king of the entire Darkner world, who's also, like, a really good friend of mine. Oh my god, like, you are head over heels for, like, a real good friend of mine who just so also happens to be the king of this entire like domain. Like, so of course I'm going to help you. Like, Susie is actually very like what surprised Vanilla like Vanilla Frisk the most. Like, one of the biggest things was like how eager she was to help her. It's like, dude's my friend, so why not? We're real good friends, so why not? Like, you're friends with him, so you're friends with me, And, it'd just be like, it'd be awkward time just trying to ease into things. And Susie wouldn't be making it very easy, but, Susie's trying, at least. At least you could say that she's trying. And, well, now, like, Vanilla Chara being bumped up to the position of not an assistant, but the actual royal scientist. Yeah, basically, she would get alpha syndrome. And by that I mean, like, mm, it wouldn't be as severe as actual alphas, but there would be signs to show that she was getting that way. And on the topic of the king himself, Lancer, you know, his name is part of the title of this What If. Lancer, he's not stupid. He would be aware of things. And, one day, Lancer would just be like, he would have to break it to Vanilla Frisk, like really break it down really hard. Because that's really the only thing that Vanilla Sans taught him how to do. Like, whenever concerning like people that like you in a certain way, like a certain type of person liking you in a certain type of way, Vanilla basically Vanilla Sans would get what he means. Back way back when he would get what he means, and he would just be like, "Dude, if it ever comes to that," he'd just be like, and like in flashback, it's just like so Lancer would just be like, "Okay, I got this. Lancer, you're the king. You got this." And, well, it would just, like, Lancer would just walk out to see, Frisk doing her usual job of, caretaker, just finishing up on the garden, like, watering the flowers and, like, taking care of any of the weeds. And, things would just be, it would be, you know, it would be just a normal day for Vanilla Frisk. She'd just be doing what she's been doing like ever since she got the position of freaking caretaker of Card Castle slash Card Castle Garden. you know, just finishing up. And usually, whenever she finished up, basically, she would finish up with Cardcastle Garden, like, like, basically, like, doing all the watering and the picking of, like, fruits and veggies, and, like, uh, like, discarding all those fickle weeds. Just finds them really fickle. I never thought I would use that word more than once or even once at all in my entire thing as a YouTube person. And basically Lancer would just be like, um, uh, the Frisk, like in this, like the only Frisk so far that there's been is Vanilla Frisk, so Lancer just calls her Frisk. And it's just like, Frisk? And Vanilla Frisk is just like, yes, Your Highness? Yeah, that's another name, like, Your Highness. And Lancer's just like thinking of 420 now, and he's like, no, 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 get that out of your head. I'm just like, I would like to have an audience with you inside once you're done finishing up and cleaning up. I mean, jeez, you look dirty. Like you're still you, but you know, please clean up after you're done. I hate like feeling like I have to remind you, but you know, it would be nice for the entirety of Card Castle to be as spotless as possible. And like Vanilla Frisk would be getting like this vibe of he is definitely hiding something, but yes, I probably should wash up. And Vanilla Frisk would do that, and like even wipe their feet on the mat, like how you're supposed to. And well, that would be that. And basically, a note would be left, and then basically the note would be left outside the door where she would be, finishing up. Basically, the note would basically tell her, you know, where, you know, that they wanted to have an audience with. Like, basically, where she has to go now. And, well, it basically says that he wants to have an audience with her in the master of all master bedrooms, if you know what I mean. So basically, like a private, like, audience. A private audience. Like, that's as private as you can make it. Well, in Vanilla Frisk's mind, that's as private as you can make it. And, like, if he wants to have an audience with her in his bedroom, like, okay. He's just like, it's just, eventually, Vanilla Frisk gets there, and it's just, Lancer is, like, sitting down on the bed, and he's just like, well, how has everything been? And Vanilla Frisk is just like, Your Highness, with all due respect, please, cut the crap, as Susie would probably say. And, Lancer would just be like, okay, breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, exhale. I I really like you. And basically, Vanilla Char would be cut off guard, like, Your Highness! Like, that is nice to know. Oh, in that way. In that way. And Lancer would just be like, uh, yes, in that way. I really like you. That that's a gentler way of saying the other thing, right? And basically, Vanilla Frisk is like, a gentler way of saying that he loves me? What the frick? Like, I didn't know his dad deprived him of that much social skill ability. Like, ability to, like, social skills with people. I would at least hope that Vanilla had taught him enough to, like, stabilize his ability to talk with females. Like, what did his dad do to make him this dry? Like, okay, it's just Vanilla Frisk is just like, well, gentle. You really don't have to. It's really an honor, to be honest with you, to be 100% completely honest with you. It's an honor that you would feel that way about someone like me. And Lancer's like, the hell are you, like, pardon my French, uh, Frisk, but, uh, what the hell are you talking about? You're amazing. And Frisk is just like, this coming from the king of our land. Uh, why, indeed, would you ever think of me to be anything more than what I am? And Lancer is like, and that's just the thing. I'm not. You are indeed amazing. You're, like, he's like, you are indeed amazing. That's exactly what you are. In every single fiber of my being, I must be honest with you. You are truly captivating, to say the least. You are, you are something, a gem to truly, that I wish to, uh, I, I, damn it. Oh, if Vanilla was here, he'd kill me for not actually having the, what did he say, balls to say what I mean? And, Lancer doesn't actually realize that he's saying this out loud. Like, he's trying to whisper, but he's failing miserably. And, like, Vanilla Frisk is just like, what do you mean, say what you mean? And Lancer's just like, oh, shit. Like, well, uh, uh, okay, fine. I guess the catty and bratty has to be out of the bag fully now. If that's really the case, then no going back now. Frisk, I love you. and Frisk is just like, uh, really, why would you ever settle for me? There are so many other females in the Darkner world. Why me? Why someone who accepted the position of caretaker? Such a menial thing when compared to the position of king. And Lancer's like, that's exactly what I thought you would say if I said something like that true to my feelings. Uh, the whole menial thing, the whole caretaker thing. You don't have to be stuck on that, because, I think you deserve something better. be honest, I think, I don't just think, I know you deserve something better. Frisk, you, you are better. You're, you truly are worthy of the title of Queen. And Vanilla Frisk is just like, Queen? How could I ever be Queen? And Lancer's like, well, I guess, you know, the best way I can think right now to make it official is if you married into it. And it just, you know, it's nothing that I'm at all nervous about. And, Vanilla Frisk finally is starting to realize, like, he's the one who's nervous, but he's the freaking king. Like, I should be the one who's nervous. I'm the freaking caretaker. He is the king. He has a position above me. Why am I not the one who's nervous? And basically, she's like, well, Lancer, I do indeed, I do indeed love you too. But I had always tried to make sure that, Susie and anyone else I had told never told you because I was kind of afraid you wouldn't, you would kind of laugh at me and call me a loser. Because, I had heard you were famous for doing that in the past. Well, not really about the whole love thing, but just in general. And Lancer's just like, ugh. I guess I have myself to blame for that. Yeah. But if it really is true that you feel that way, and I feel that way too, well, I can make it happen. I am the king after all. You did just state that, and it's not a lie. And basically, it's just like Vanilla Frisk is like blushing all over. It's just like, I think I'm turning pink, my. Your Highness, I think I'm turning pink, and I am not supposed to be colored. I am not supposed to be colored. Why am I colored? And Lancer would just be like, oh, don't worry. And he just would grab a bucket and he would just be like, this is ice water, just so you know. And Vanilla Frisk would just be like, wait, what? He was like, and she's like, now I'm wet. And, she would start to be turning purple because, like, whenever you're, like, freezing your balls off or whatever you have off, balls or ovaries off, you kind of, like, have, like, a purple thing. No, only me. Never mind. And, like, Lancer would just, he wouldn't really care about the floor. He'd just be like, he'd just get Vanilla Frisk a towel, and, he'd basically be like, I wonder whenever we should have the wedding. Well, I guess we should take it, at a slow pace. You know, you know, it's just a thing. Oh, how do you feel, Frisk? How do you feel about it? And Frisk is like, well, soon is fine. I'm fine with soon. You know, I just want to make sure Sis is not gonna have a shit fit about it. you know, whenever they're calmer, I guess that's whenever we'll do it. And like, just like Lancer's just like, wait, we have to wait for your sister to calm down? And, eventually it does happen. The whole marriage thing, it's like, will you, Lancer, like, the whole sick, or like in sickness or in health, like, till death you depart or whatever. And Lancer's like, I do. And it's like, the Frisk. And just like, the whole thing that said before, and she's like, I do. And it's like, you may now kiss the bride. And, it's just like, you can hear in the audience, like not really the audience, but you can like hear like amongst like the crowd of people, it's like, woohoo! Go sis! It's like Frisk would just be like in her head face palming like, child. It's like, and Lancer would just be like, okay, then. Looks like someone like, basically, someone led Chara to the punch bowl. And Frisk is like, wait, someone spiked the punch? And Lancer's like, uh, you weren't aware of that? And, like, Frisk is just like Vanilla Frisk is just like, maybe that's why I feel like I got a buzz in my head. I was beginning to think it was just like the beginning of a minor headache, but now that I heard that someone spiked the punch, well, and then she's just about to fall over, and Lancer just, whoop, whoop, whoop. No, no, you don't. Don't go falling over on me, Frisk, or else I might have to kiss you again. It's like, mm. And Susie's like, lucky little, and Chris is just like, what, Susie, are you jealous? I thought you weren't into that kind of stuff. Or are you only saying that to be, look tough in front of you know who before you know what happened? And, it's just like Susie would just be like, ugh. It's like, not really wanting to accept the fact that, Chris is right. Like, she is jealous as hell. But, not, the kind of, like chivalry, like the whole like murders, like the medieval like murders, like slaughtering of like the whole thing. Not enough to do that, but she still is pretty jealous. She's still pretty jelly. No jam, or at least that's what it looks like until Napstablook, also known as Blukey, but that's what his cousin, Metaton calls him. It's like DJ Napstablook, also known as Blukey. That's what his cousin calls him. And as for his cousin, we have Metaton. And it's like, oh, yes. And he's in his EX form. And for the third ish member of their team, like third ish, because apparently Shiren, who's the part of their, like, supposed to be a part of their gig, is like two monsters as one, like two monsters in one kind of deal. So yes, three-ish Shiren, and everybody's just like, whoa, MTT, MTT. That's literally the name of their band, MTT. It's like LTT, LTT, LTT. And Meriton is just like, oh yes. And this song goes out to the Mr. and Mrs. themselves, the King and Queen, Lancer and Frisk, also known as Vanilla Frisk, but Lancer and Frisk. And freaking like that song Hard Drive. If you guys like know anything about that song Hard Drive, like the whole Metaton Minecraft animation thingy, that song Hard Drive, it's like Book is just like our hit new song Hard Drive, and Shiren would just be like the part that speaks would just be like the part of Shiren that speaks would just be like, yes, it's our new hit song. And Blue Key and Shiren and Metaton will all say it like at the same time. Hard Drive! And I want to know if you guys can hear it in the background. Well, at least I would want to know, but I'm afraid I'm gonna break my computer if I do any of these stunts again. So, yeah, I will probably just let you guys know it's a sort of a Minecraft thing, like Minecraft slash Undertale, like hard drive. I found the 1 hour version. It's freaking sweet. There's glamour's got me out of my mind. Like, like, like a dreamer never could. And like, sight, man. My sequence. Never done was in. Baby glamour's got me out of my mind. Yeah, and a hard drive. Damn, that song is freaking awesome. I'm gonna listen to it once I'm done with all these videos. Maybe even before I'm done with all these videos. I don't know, I just really want to listen to it, damn it. I got that song in my mind and now I really want to listen to it. Can't get it out of my mind now. Son of a freaking catchy ass earworm songs. Anyways, Alan's the Unadouses, because this is the end of part 5 of, whatever, Vanilla. What if, Lancer was friends with Vanilla Sans part 5? It's the end of that. Basically, Alan the Unadouses. This is Dr. Remember, gets OUT out of here. Your boys. Bye.